When you finally hurt a narcissist and trigger their narcissistic injury, this will happen. Narcissists seek out those that are vulnerable, compassionate, and freely give of themselves monetarily or otherwise. The preferred method of doing this is using the victim to boost their own social standing. They will marry the most eligible high-status candidate available, the richest, the most attractive, the most talented, etc. The moment they get the chance, they'll begin to push the limits. A tug-of-war sensation is created. The pain will start right away. As time progresses, the pressure to cross increasingly greater boundaries increases. The most convenient supply is the one who stays because they derive their sense of worth from the relationship and believe they have no choice but to remain with the narcissist. This is especially true for people who have been manipulated and gaslighted for an extended period of time, perhaps beginning with their narcissistic parent. Let me begin by expressing my appreciation for your time in watching this video. If you're new around these parts, you should know that we're all about busting the narcissist's secret. As we begin, I want to convey how much I value your help in the future. Narcissism is not necessarily shown in negative feelings like rage and outbursts. The cause might be something like a chemical imbalance or an injury to the brain. However, narcissistic rage encompasses a broad spectrum of behaviors, from explosive outbursts and sudden fits of rage to more subtle forms of aggression, like simmering resentment. If a narcissist isn't getting the attention they crave, even if it's being taken away from more vital issues, they may lose it. When a narcissist's wants and needs aren't met, they may react with excessive hostility or extremely passive-aggressive. Disheartening because it shatters their idealized self-concept. If narcissists place such a high importance on how they seem on the outside, how can this be? To that end, I'd like to talk today about how a narcissistic injury can affect the narcissist. To what extent do they agree or disagree? What's wrong with them? There are various narcissistic wounds that one may suffer. At each juncture, a range of options is available. Nonetheless, I will also talk about the worst narcissistic injury possible and how they are likely to react to it. Emotional traumas that undermine the narcissist's sense of self-worth and pride are known as narcissistic wounds, also known as wounded ego. Whenever someone attacks their false persona, this is what normally happens. The degree of the injury may also affect the narcissist's reaction. However, no matter how bad the wound is, they will always respond in the same way. Because we value brevity, let's quickly review the normal response of a narcissist to a narcissistic injury when you hurt a narcissist. When their pride is damaged, they feel humiliated, which is quickly replaced by anger. The narcissist becomes obsessed with getting even as a result. No matter how great the wrong is done to them, narcissists are incapable of forgiving it. They don't even bother with a sham apology. It is therefore irrelevant whether they have or not. They'll be thinking of methods to get even with you and plotting revenge. Their preferred form of punishment is the infamous smear campaign, which can be carried out in secret or in full view of the public. A narcissist may treat you badly before suddenly acting kind again. There are narcissistic hurts that can drive the narcissist to even more extreme behavior, and I'm not even referring to the lifetime slander campaign. The reason is that a narcissist can be dealt a fatal blow in addition to everything else, where their pride and ego crumble before their eyes, and the realization of who or what they really are brings on an overwhelming sense of shame. There are several potential triggers for a narcissist's breaking point. These are the kinds of experiences that would rip open the deepest wounds in a narcissist's fragile ego. In the video, I discussed in depth the 3 triggers for narcissist pain: desertion, exposure, and insult. Narcissists are especially vulnerable to those who can strike with all three at once. The narcissist then either becomes extremely afraid of this person and actively avoids them, or develops an obsessive desire to destroy them. Assuming the latter, it's feasible that they'd let their guard down at the sight of the person who wounded them. At this point, the narcissist has no choice but to confess that the other person is someone they do not like and quit pretending otherwise. If they have the option, they would prefer to have them slain. Such a severe narcissistic injury can have far-reaching consequences for a person with an extreme personality type like narcissism, and not just for the victim. How far the narcissist goes next is determined by the depth of their current emotions. If it's fear, they could feel trapped and hopeless. They are more prone to run away and act as if nothing happened, even if they eventually give in and own their mistakes and seek treatment, which rarely succeeds. If their hatred for the target is so great that it cannot be rationalized, the narcissist may even resort to trying to lay a curse or hex on them, or hiring a hitman to eliminate them. For a narcissist, there are no bounds to what they would have another person do if they knew it wouldn't come back to them. A narcissist's dark side becomes more apparent once they've been wounded by another narcissist. They could play the victim to gain sympathy, but that's just a diversion from their real agenda. But if you're an expert, you can home in on what's off and how bitter their resentment really is. In other words, you'll be getting an eyewitness account. When a narcissist gets hurt, they experience a wide range of painful emotions. Fear, rage, wrath, and shame are some of the most common. The narcissist's innate negativity is merely amplified by this. A narcissist can't take the insult, humiliation, and rejection all at once. The damage from a narcissistic injury cannot be undone, as is the case with any other type of injury to the ego. Their constant barrage of self-deprecating remarks only serves to make them miserable to be around. A narcissist, if denied the opportunity for revenge, may go mad or violent if the ordeal lasts too long. Narcissists have little interest in repairing their wounds and moving on. They refuse to forgive or acknowledge their mistakes, so any hope for change fades as they get older. A person's right to self-destruction should be respected if you have wounded their pride. I really hope you found some value in this video. Please describe an experience in which you inflicted a narcissistic wound on another individual and their reaction. Please come back soon. I always enjoy your company. Please use the comment section below for questions or feedback. Consider subscribing to our channel by clicking the bell button in the description to be notified of new uploads. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this.